Hey everyone, Tacoma Dad, we're back. The Tacobox has been in the truck for roughly a week, so I wanted to go over a couple things in this video. I want to start off by thanking you guys for coming back to the channel and checking this out. We're gonna crawl into the truck. I'm gonna show you some things that you need to do and things that they just don't tell you about until you get into it. So if you were planning on putting a Tacobox in your truck or interested, I'm gonna show you the things that you have to do to basically make it back to driving around like it's stock, and it doesn't have any rattles, which we'll go over, leaks, which we'll go over. So we'll get into it and get started, but I want to appreciate you guys for coming back, watching the videos, but we'll get in depth here in just a second. So under the truck, we're going to show you a few things that you need to do. Obviously in the other videos I showed you have to extend the wiring harness. So you have to do that. And then right up there, you can see the vacuum hoses. This one right there with the white clip on it comes down into here. So you got to extend that one. There's also one way up at the top, which I don't think the camera's even going to be able to see because it's pretty far up there, that you have to extend as well. So that has to be done. But this one is mainly things that they don't really tell you about. So obviously when we put the Tacobox together, you seal this flange to the transfer case. That's easy enough. That was pretty self-explanatory. But there is another seal, and you can kind of see it right here. This goes to basically the dead space or the back end of the transmission. They don't tell you where to seal these things, so you just got to figure it out yourself. So I put this together one time, it leaked, and then it was leaking from here. So I figured it out pretty easily. But I just took it back out, which I was having other things I had to do anyway. So I took that out and resealed that, and then it leaked still. So it was leaking really bad right up here towards the top where the shift boot is. It's roughly up in there. The camera's not gonna be able to pick all that up. It's up there. It was running down from the top. I mean, it was pouring out. You can still see the stains on my exhaust from it. It was leaving puddles on the ground everywhere I went. Every time I drove the truck, it was just pouring out fluid. So contacted Marlin Crawler. They said to give them a little bit. They talked to their manager about it, so they were made aware of an issue of it being overfilled. So when I originally filled up the Tacobox, I put in 4 quarts. So a whole gallon went into there, which I thought was unusual, but I did what they said to fill it up until it came out of the fill hole, which is what I did. So obviously it had way too much fluid in it for that, and they told me to take a quart out, so I drained it, put new fluid in, and only put three quarts back into it. So that seems to have taken care of it. I did just notice the drip on there, so I don't know if that's residual or what, but it was just right there. I just wiped it off. But we'll check into that later. But all in all, it's been driving great. I've been driving quite a bit on it, and it hasn't had an issue. But there is things that have to be fixed or relocated. So right up in here is a bolt for that right there, where that bolt or that nut's sticking through at. That was too long and it was bouncing off the transfer case, so it made this horrendous rattle inside the truck while driving, and it was terrible. So it had to be fixed. So I just took that bolt out, I cut a 1/2 inch off of it, put it back in. There was also a bracket on this side, this one right here. This was turned up and it was bouncing off the frame right here, making just a terrible noise too. So that was taken off and relocated and moved where it doesn't hit the body anymore, but that was fixed. So there's the 2 things. Those are the only 2 things that I found that you have to relocate, but it's pretty simple to do. You just take off the transfer gate bolts. Obviously, you're not going to have to deal with leaks because you're only taking 1 bolt out at a time and putting it right back in. So take those out, move them around. The e-brake, you got to take the console off. To get to it, it's the far back right one. That's the one you got to take out and cut a 1/2 inch of it off. So pretty easy. And then we'll take it inside, and I'll show you the inside of what I did to the console because I didn't really go into depth with it yet, but I think it turned out pretty nice. So could be better, but I'm a professional at this, so it's good enough for me, basically. But wanted to point things out, so make sure you seal both sides of the Tacobox. when you bolt it up to the transfer case and you bolt it up to the transmission. Take that bolt up there and fix it, cut a 1/2 inch of it off, move one of the brackets for one of the hoses, move it, and just turn it the other way. I did, I beat in the e-brake just a little bit, but I don't think you need to after looking at it now. So if you can see up in there, I kind of beat that little tunnel down a little bit. You can see kind of like right up in there. Right up there is where it is. And I beat that just a little bit just to get it in there. But my only other concern back here now is how close this is your shift cable, how close that is to that yoke. I mean, I don't even have a finger width to get in there. So if that ever catches on there, then that'll be a bad day, because I'm sure it'll just yank it all back out. So we'll figure that out. But just want to show you guys that under the truck. Obviously, drive shafts have been fixed. They've been shortened. This is normally about 20, I think this is like 20 something inches. I can't remember exactly, but it was 20 something inches. We cut it basically in half, and that's what's left of it. So obviously they didn't have to do anything to the backside, but just the front. Front drive shaft was extended. They made a whole new shaft after they took it apart. So that turned out nice. But let's climb up on top and I'll show you the console and what I did up there. We'll show you the inside of the truck now. So there's how the shifter is laid out now. You can see I cut just a little bit of the cup holder in the front, just to get the throw from when the shifter goes all the way into low. So just keep in mind on these, when you put it in, I'm in neutral right now. This is neutral, right in the middle. When you go down, that is in high gear, which is the gear you're gonna drive around in. That is, makes it 1-to-1, kind of, it doesn't mess with anything, doesn't make the RPMs too high, anything like that. All the way forward, past neutral, 1 up from neutral, is low gear. That's what you'll do when you're going off-road and stuff like that. You don't want to drive on the highway on it. But I wanted to show you guys that. I actually picked this shift boot up from a PT Cruiser in the junkyard that has standard transmission. So I thought that was pretty cool. Repurposing old parts, because I didn't want to take the chance of ordering one. It didn't fit, and then I wasted $30-something, which is the cheapest one I found that was actually decent. That kind of matched the ones that are in the truck. This one does a pretty good job of matching the other ones. Doesn't look terrible. It doesn't, it's not a different color. It's still the same kind of smooth looking leather to it, but it works. It's pretty easy to cut out. I cut mine out with a Dremel to get this all cut out of here. I clean up the edges with a knife and a sander, and just basically double-sided tape the shift boot in there just to purposely see where I can put it at, where it needed to be at, because the main riding position is obviously in high, which is when you drive the truck on the streets. So I just wanted to make sure it didn't mess up anything there and just get in the way of anything. But you can see that it's tight, but it does clear the e-brake just fine. Obviously, you're not going to have the Tacobox, you know, you're not going to be needing the shift, you're not going to need the e-brake when the Tacobox and stuff like that, unless you're off-roading, but it still does clear, just by hair, clears by it, just shift knot clears down in there. So I just want to show you guys that. If you guys have any questions about it, if you guys are thinking about getting a Tacobox, just let me know. But other than that, I think that's about it. I just wanted to point out those key things that you don't know about. It's hard to find information online about these because not many people have done it, or shops have done it and they don't share their experience, which is fine, I get it. But I just wanted to tell you guys that, so that way you guys knew what to do or what to expect when you start putting a Tacobox in your 3rd gen Tacoma. Mine's a 2018. It's been in there for roughly a week and a half. Been driving around on it. Haven't had any issues other than the first ones I told you about when we were underneath the truck, showing where it leaked at. Those few leaks, once they're taken care of, it drives just like it did when I bought it. But thanks guys, appreciate you watching the video. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below. Get a hold of me. I'm on the Instagram and I'm on Facebook. A lot of the Tacoma forums I'm on there, so get a hold of me that way if you have any questions about it. Or you can talk to Marlin Crawler directly. Obviously, that's your best bet because they're the ones who designed this whole thing. Other than that, that's about it. Next video should be off-roading this thing and seeing this Tacobox in action. So I look forward to that. Hope you guys stay tuned so you'll see that one. And then don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you guys can stay informed, hit that bell so you can stay notified when I post the next video. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.